Like all of you, I've been struggling with the recent revelations from the Pennsylvania report regarding clergy abuse of minors and its cover-up over really the last 60 to 70 to 80 years in that state. We were all through this in 2002 on a national level, and all that seems to be coming back. And it just renews within us a tremendous sense of shame, of anger, of confusion, of sorrow. I know I've gone through all those emotions. I'm sure you have too. And it really just says a couple things. One, that bishops need to be held accountable if indeed they moved abusers around or hid instances of the abuse of minors by clergy. And really the Holy Father needs to step in and take some active decisions regarding this matter. He's the one that has the authority to remove bishops, and I think many bishops around the country right now are calling for that level of accountability, and people are certainly asking for that as well. We also obviously need to seek the Lord in this time and ask for healing, ask for reconciliation, healing for the victims especially, but just a firm resolution that this can never happen again. The changes that the Dallas Charter brought in 2002 were essentially good. They mandated background checks, safe environment training, both for employees and volunteers, clergy, religious, also training for the children themselves to recognize vestiges of grooming or of inappropriate behavior. Also reinforced the mandatory reporting that's required by state law if one suspects any sort of abuse of minors. Those changes have essentially worked. So there's very few cases post-2002. We're still dealing with everything that went on before it. And that doesn't justify it at all or make it go away. We need to work through this. People have lost trust in the church, and the people that are responsible for this need to be held accountable, and we need to continue to ask the Lord to heal us and to help us. To that end, I've asked each parish in the diocese to offer a Mass of healing and atonement in the month of September. That idea of atonement may not be one that we're familiar with, but it's really the conviction that we can help other people in the mystical body of Christ through our prayer, our penance, our good works, our fasting. St. Paul says in his letter to the Colossians, "In my own suffering I fill up what is lacking in the suffering of Christ for the sake of his body, the church." So ultimately the only power that can heal us and lift us up is the power of the cross, where the ultimately innocent one took on our sin and death and lifted it to the Father. So I just invite all of you to join me in seeking that path of conversion, that path of healing, that path of prayer, that together we who are the church can continue to call on the Lord to help us. If you're tempted to leave the church or to give up on the church, I understand that anger, that sense of betrayal, that despair, that break of trust. But I would say this, that the church is us. The church is all of us who are gathered in this diocese in Northwest Indiana. And I'm not going to let what somebody did 50 years ago keep me from having my church and being involved in the church. If you're struggling with this, I encourage you to reach out to your pastor or to reach out to me. I'd be happy to listen and happy to talk with you. God's blessings to all of you during this difficult time, and know that I am in solidarity with you in prayer before the Lord.